Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. This is the third part in my three-part series on how I became a counsellor. So I hope you've enjoyed the last two videos. If you haven't seen them yet, I'll link them down below so you can check them out. So in this last part of the series, I'll be talking about just any tips or recommendations for becoming a counsellor and what might help in the process. And just might help you gain a bit more knowledge or experience. So in my last two videos I talked about how I decided to become a counsellor, what I studied, how I did my placements and how I got my job or jobs and what I did in those jobs. So what I would really recommend is volunteering. So especially for counselling roles and just jobs in the community, community services, social work, things like that, it's good to get as much experience as possible because the kinds of people you're going to be working with, it requires just having a bit of experience because you are going to be working with people who are either, going through homelessness, have experienced violence, haven't had like a really stable upbringing, either use drugs or alcohol. So there's a variety of things you could be seeing, and it's just important to be able to have that experience and work with different kind of groups of people. And also future employees will be, or employers, so future employers will be looking at what kind of experience have you had. I mean, I'm sure that's the same for any job that you're looking for, but I just think in terms of community services and these kinds of jobs, it makes you look more attractive to them in terms of that experience that you've had. The volunteering experience that I got was at the Women's and Children's Hospital. So I volunteered as I was in the creche. So there's a creche there for siblings of children who are in hospital or other children of mothers who are in hospital, whether they're giving birth or they're having some complications with their birth. So they have a creche that the children can go to and have qualified staff looking after them. So there were 3 staff members and 1 volunteer on at the time, and so I would go in and volunteer and play with the children, do little craft activities with them. So I was doing that, and then while I was there, a position opened up to volunteer as a play therapist in a ward. So they have qualified and paid play therapists who work with kids in wards who are, in hospital for whatever illness that they have, injury or illness that they have. And they go into their rooms and do one-on-one craft activities, or they coordinate like a group crafting session in the middle of the ward. Those positions are a bit more attractive to the volunteers because it allows for that more one-on-one contact with the patients. So there's not many of those positions available or open. So one became open and they just needed someone to cover while the other volunteer was on holiday. So I said I'd step in, and then that volunteer ended up coming back, but the play therapist on the ward had said some good things about me and said, it would be good if she could stay on, and I really wanted to as well. So I ended up staying on for part of that position that was available, and I really enjoyed that because I got to run group crafting sessions in the wards for the patients and their families or siblings, and also I got to go to the children, drop them off at school within the hospital, so they would have, sorry, I don't know who's beeping, but they would have a school at the hospital where the long-term patients could go and do some learning. So we would take them down and got to be a part of that. It was really nice experience, as well as seeing what goes on in the Starlight room and knowing that the kids have support and have somewhere to go in this really hard time for them. I ended up doing volunteering at the hospital for 100 hours. So at different milestones they give you like a certificate kind of thing, and I ended up being there for 100 hours. My other kind of volunteering, I guess, or things that have helped me is I co-founded a charity during uni, and that was with a friend who I went to uni with. So we founded this charity which would where we would host fundraising events and then purchase school supplies for children in China and Sri Lanka. So I'm Sri Lankan and my friend is Chinese or from China, and so we wanted to do something to help those communities, or we thought we'd create a charity and hold events to fundraise and then be able to take products over, and yeah, just give them to them straight from us, so we know that the money that we raise is then, and the people who donate, the money is being spent directly on the children and their supplies. So yeah, we did that it went on for 5 years, that charity, which then ended. I then also started a blog, and it kind of has gone from different I guess focus areas, but I wanted to start it because I wanted to share people's stories on how their creativity got them into a successful position now. So having that experience, and obviously this YouTube channel is a part of that now. So The Gracious Life is the umbrella name for my social media, so like Facebook and Instagram and Twitter, and this YouTube channel, and then I also have a website where I talk about different topics and interview different people. So and all those will be linked down below if you want to check them out. But doing that also, I think, is one of the things that helped me get into my master's degree, because for a lot of master's degrees they look at your life as a whole rather than just your grades or just your academic position. They look at what have you done in the community, I guess what work experience you've had, and yeah, how you're actually going to take this education and use it in a practical sense, I guess. So when I applied for that master's, I didn't actually think it was that competitive to get in, because it was kind of new, and yeah, I didn't think many people knew about it. But then when I did get in, the course coordinators actually said that we were, I think, 15 or 20 people that had been chosen from 70 or something applicants. And I was just so surprised when I heard that, because I had no idea. I just thought anyone who applied got in. But I was like, oh wow, okay, this is, I guess, something special then. So and then I found out later on that my application looked more interesting, I guess, because I had the charity and I was doing things in the community. So that actually helped me. Also, something that I kind of now look back on, so I did the Bachelor of Psychological Science and then the Master in Counselling and Psychotherapy. But if you're looking at being a counsellor at a university, so what I'm finding now in the career world is that a lot of employers are looking for either people who are registered as a social worker or people who are registered as a psychologist, or people who are eligible to register as those. So you have to have studied a social work degree or finish your master's in psychology to get those jobs, which are quite high paying and high up roles. And so what I'm kind of thinking now is maybe I should have done the Master of Social Work and then looked at other counselling diplomas, or even the Masters in Counselling and Psychotherapy, because I really, really enjoyed the Master of Counselling and Psychotherapy, and that did allow me to register with PACFA, which is the Psychotherapy and Counselling Federation of Australia, as a counsellor. But it's not really yet that recognised for different positions here in South Australia. So looking back, I think I would have done the Bachelor of Psychological Science, then done a Master of Social Work, and then done some smaller either diplomas or degrees in counselling, or done that Master's in counselling, because then you would be eligible to register as a social worker, but you would be able to get those roles in counselling, like for example as a university counsellor. So yeah, I hope you found that helpful. Again, if you have any questions or comments, just let me know down below. Again, please subscribe to my channel, because I hope to do more videos like this, and it'll just notify you when I've uploaded a video. So please subscribe, and thanks again for watching. I hope to see you in the next video. Thanks. Bye.